Hello, thank you for joining us. I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. As you know, we work very closely with local elected officials. Today, we have none other than Commissioner Adrian Garcia, who's been a great friend to the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and to our county and city, and has represented us very well. We want to get an update on what's going on with COVID, the county, the many resources they've provided to people in the county, as well as small business, and of course the census. A lot to cover, Commissioner, but first, thank you for your service.
No, thank you, Dr. Murillo. It's an honor to be with you this morning. And just thank you and the Chamber for all the good things that you guys do on a day-to-day basis. You're keeping our economy moving forward, and we desperately need your leadership at this time.
Well, we appreciate it. Our team and board of directors have doubled down on our efforts in reaching out. And let me begin by thanking you on behalf of small businesses that happen to be Hispanic in the county. Thank you for taking the lead in making sure that funds from the county were put on the agenda, were voted and passed. You made it easy for people to access and understand, and you saved so many small businesses. I had phone calls where people crying saying, Dr. Murillo, I got that loan from the county, and you all set the tone for Fort Bend and others to do the same. And I'm not sure whether or not you and your commissioners and the judge, get the thanks from those individuals who are impacted, who have 3 or 4 people working in their businesses, but you saved businesses and the livelihood for so many families. I want to start with that. We know PPP for many, SBA, unfortunately, was unattainable for a lot of our small businesses. And so you all stepping up, the city of Houston doing the same, were certainly a lifesaver. And the rental assistance program that you all led as well. So let's start there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Dr. Murillo. And we're cognizant of the fact that we're not on an island to ourselves, but rather we have all the people in Harris County that are in need. We're all struggling through this pandemic, and we're trying to do our very best to do all that we can to ensure that we get out of this pandemic sooner rather than later. In that regard, I'm proud of the small business programs we've done. We started with a small business loan program, a forgivable loan program, 0% interest. We have since converted it into our second program, which was a small business grant program, which is entirely forgivable. And so all we say, and I would say to those, no need to thank me, but we did it as a collective effort with Judge Hidalgo and Commissioner Ellis and Commissioners Raddick and Cagle. All I would ask is you pay it forward. Help do business with other small businesses in your area, and that's how we're going to all survive. And then as relates to the direct assistance, providing that money to help stimulate the economy, getting you to spend that money in mom and pop shops, in family-owned and minority-owned businesses. That's how we're going to stimulate this economy and help us move forward. And to our landlords, we know that you are businesses as well, and we know that for the most part, you don't want to have to evict anyone unnecessarily. And so I simply ask you that if you are a Precinct 2 landlord, please, there's still time to participate in the rental assistance program. We have money available for you. Please go to harriscountyrenthealth.org and apply to be a participant. And then for those tenants that are participating in the program already, just get that information in to us as quickly as possible so we can get those checks out and give you that support and keep that roof over your head. And then I would just simply say that we still need your voice, Dr. Murillo, because as you have heard, this pandemic, COVID-19, has been a killer of the Latino community. And so we need to encourage and motivate our community to follow the protocols, practice safe social distancing, use the mask, do all that is necessary and proven to be effective to keep our families and our children as safe as possible.
So Commissioner, talk to us a little bit about the testing sites and what you all are doing to make sure people are taking advantage of COVID testing.
Yes, an inordinate amount of the CARES money that we have received, over $400 million. A significant portion of that has been spent on the public health aspect of it, of this pandemic, ensuring that we're supporting our clinics, our hospitals, our medical first responders, but it's also been spent on testing and ensuring that the community has access to those tests. So please visit either my website at hcp2.com or readyharris.org so that you can see where the testing is available. We want to make sure that we're protecting you and that you're taking all the steps necessary to protect you and your family. But please, the tests are available. They're free, convenient. Please don't guess, take the test.
And convenient in Precinct 2 and throughout Harris County. Again, visit the website. A lot of resources, everything from small business to a variety of testing centers, etc. Certainly critically important for funding and so many other things is the census. Your chamber has been an advocate. So many elected officials and communities have said, complete that census. Help people understand what this means to a family in your precinct.
Well, first of all, we only have to the end of this month to complete the census. So please, if you have not taken it, please do so. Please help me spread the word in Precinct 2, because currently Precinct 2 is in last place of all the precincts. Harris County as a whole is doing okay. We're probably going to meet the goal that we set for ourselves, but we can do better. And so the reason that the census is so important is because a complete count can bring billions of dollars, Dr. Murillo, into our community, billions of dollars that members of the Hispanic Chamber can benefit from, billions of dollars that will help educate our children to do the amazing things that your children are doing, Dr. Murillo, billions of dollars that will help save lives by being able to invest it into our healthcare systems, billions of dollars that will go to engineering companies, construction companies, concrete companies to help us invest and protect and improve our infrastructure. Billions of dollars that will help us maintain good air, land, and water quality. Billions of dollars for our economy. But we need a complete count. I want to make sure that we are front and center on the national stage when it comes down to seeing where we have done the outreach necessary to get the community to participate. Now, this is one of those where it's fast, it's easy, and convenient and pleasant. You can do it online, you can do it over the phone, and it only takes, I've heard, anywhere from 5 minutes, I think is what it took my family and I, and then maybe up to 10 minutes. And we do it in all the languages. The information is secure. Please, please, let's Harris County have a complete count. Help us do your part by spreading the word.
Absolutely. And you can even do it while you're in line waiting for your COVID test on your phone. Exactly 2 for 1. Commissioner, to you, the judge, and all of the county commissioners, thank you for your service and your leadership. See you soon. Bye-bye, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're happy to have our next guest joining us is again none other than Samuel Peña. Chief, thanks for joining us.
Dr. Murillo, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on your program.
Absolutely, and we want to talk a little bit about the extraordinary efforts of the fire department, of course, our police department as well. I know we've had some tragic deaths in both of those parties, and our condolences to those families. And it's the reality of what COVID can and is doing. And so, for those of us that are in this great city, how fortunate we are that first responders every day are putting their lives on the line for us. So on behalf of our community, our thanks, and again, condolences to those families.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo, and you're right. This coronavirus is a real thing. You know, yesterday we were talking. I was talking to one of my assistant chiefs who. So we buried a third firefighter yesterday, and that died from coronavirus. And just in conversation with one of my assistant chiefs who coordinated these line of duty death ceremonies in the past, says that he's been doing this for over 10 years, and we have never buried somebody that passed away from the flu. So those that think that this is just the flu, you know, are mistaken. This is much more serious. So we all have to do our part.
Absolutely. And speaking of doing our part, we know that there have been a variety of different ordinances, et cetera, in terms of capacity at our restaurants and our bars. And unfortunately, we know that there are some premises that are in fact packing folks in the evening and people are in close proximity with no mask. What is the fire department's response to these issues?
So, and you're correct. You're absolutely correct. This virus has a propensity to transfer easily from person to person. So, any event that brings in a lot of people and they're congregated in a large group in an enclosed setting is prime for passing this virus. Our job in enforcing the governor's order GA-28 is essentially going out and being a resource to these businesses to ensure that they're working to be in compliance with the governor's executive order. We have inspectors that go out there that understand what the order says, and we work with the businesses to try to be in compliance. Those that are in violation, the worst we have done so far is just a referral to TABC. TABC now does their administrative review and takes appropriate actions. But I'm happy to say, Dr. Murillo, that we've responded to nearly 8,000 complaints over the course of this operation. And the vast majority, over 99% of the instances, we've been able to resolve on scene. And that's a credit to the business owners that want to do the right thing. They just need a little assistance, and that's what we're there to provide. We understand that small businesses, especially small businesses, are hurting, and they want to be open. And our job is to try to assist them to get there in a responsible way.
Yes, and the sooner we get these numbers to a place where it's much more comfortable, the sooner we can get back to some normalcy. I know yesterday I was on a call with Senator Watson from the Hobby School of Public Policy, Bob Harvey and others, and they had a physician on who talked about the percentage that we need to be at. We're close, but we can't let our guard down. And unfortunately, we see that once people get this sense of, oh, okay, there are more cars on the freeway, there are more people eating out, that they can stop wearing their mask. Have you seen an increase of people wearing masks and washing their hands and social distancing?
You know, I have noticed that. I think the message has gotten out that those three things, those three simple things, wearing your mask, proper hygiene and physical distancing, is helping us bring down the number of exposures in our community. That's the best recommendation we have at this point until we get a vaccine and proper treatments in place.
Tropical storm became a hurricane, Laura, and luckily it was Laura and not Laura, because that would have been much more devastation if it was Hurricane Laura. But we escaped it, and there will be more. What are we doing to be prepared?
Well, we were concerned about the Laura coming in here, and because we know the force that those storms bring, and we certainly avoided. We dodged a bullet here in Houston, but unfortunately, our neighbors to the east were not so lucky, and there was a lot of devastation. The force, the storm came in with a great, enormous amount of force, and it caused a lot of damage and destruction. And so we have resources, luckily, available here in Houston that we were able to deploy to assist our neighbors to the east, not only with firefighters and equipment, but also the community here has stepped up in a big way as far as donations with food, with supplies, with materials to be able to provide to those that are in need to the east. And that's something that we need to maintain right now, awareness that there are people suffering, because unfortunately, sometimes what happens is when the cameras disappear, we kind of forget about those communities that are hurting. And right now, there's still a lot of need out there. So I encourage our community of Houston, who has been very generous and very giving in every instance, to maintain that and to assist those that are in need right now. Now, we also have another storm that's hit further to the east, Sally, and we also have resources, fire department resources that from Texas Task Force 1 that are deployed and are out there assisting with rescues and with medical care and help that they need right now.
Yes, and so again, Fire Chief Sam Peña, thank you so much to you and the entire group of firefighters who protect us every day. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo. And if I may, before we log off, we are in the process of hiring and recruiting. We're looking to hire 280 firefighters this fiscal year. hfdcareers.org, hfdcareers.org. You can find all the information there, and we encourage people to apply, and we'd love to have them on part of our team.
Wonderful. We'll have that information also on the Chamber website. If you're interested, come and visit us. Chief, see you real soon.
Thank you. Be safe.
Bye-bye. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're thrilled to be here today with our guest, Chief Art Acevedo. He's joining us and always has been a great friend to the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We want to talk to him today a little bit about what's going on with HPD. Chief, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Laura, and thank you for your leadership and for all you've done to take the Chamber to the next level. And we're really excited to have you as our leader here in the Houston area.
Well, I appreciate that. We've got an awesome board of directors and staff that do so much to keep our small businesses, all the resources they need and everything else. And certainly for you and your team, extraordinary circumstances. You guys have stepped up once again. Our condolences to those lives that we have lost during this tragic time, which is COVID-19. And certainly to those families. As police officers, I know that every day you all put your lives on the line for us. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And, we love serving this great melting pot we call Houston. And, I like to say it's the city of tomorrow. That's what the rest of the country is going to look like in the next 10, 15, 20 years. And when you look at how we act as a community and how we come together during Harvey and other challenging times, it really bodes well for the rest of the nation.
It does. And on that note, let's talk about some of the priorities for the police department.
Well, one of our top priorities, obviously, is always trying to combat violent crime and trying to keep our community safe. But we understand that our greatest force multiplier as a police department is really the community itself. We've got to build trust. We've got to build relationships. And so in our deep, genuine desire to keep our communities safe, especially our communities that need us most, which sadly disproportionate communities of color, the Black community, Latino community, because of the socioeconomic challenges that they face on a disproportionate basis. We really want to do everything we can to build that trust. And so this year, we're really going to focus on trying to get our officers outside of the 911 call loop, outside of the stress for everyone of a 911 call loop. We're going to start measuring the times that officers, when they're driving down the street and see a community member working on the yard, just pulls over for a couple of minutes just to say hi, introduce themselves, get to learn a little bit about that person on their beat, and including the small business community, small business owners throughout the city. And so we know that if we don't measure it, it won't be important. So we're going to measure it, require it, and then I look forward to reporting back to the people we serve.
It's so very important, the days when we knew who was, patrolling our communities, our businesses, coming in for a cup of coffee. And so I'm glad to hear that is an ongoing expectation of police officers. Certainly with COVID occurring, domestic violence, Chief, has just spiraled. Mental health and wellness issues. Talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing and what your officers are seeing.
Yes, sadly, we've seen an uptick in domestic violence here in Houston. And I think that when I talk to my colleagues in my role as the president of the Major City Chiefs Association, which is the 69 largest police departments in the country and the 9 largest in Canada, the psyche of the American people, of the American family, it's really hurting right now. The economic threat. I've said from day one that early on that COVID-19 poses a three-pronged threat to this nation and to the free world, and that is the physical health threat of COVID-19. That we know that if you're one of those individuals that your body doesn't react well to it, you have a high probability of dying. And then after the public health threat, we've got the economic threat. We know that we've seen a lot of some really great small businesses and some not so small businesses go out of business, and because their margins just aren't where they need to be to overcome this type of economic downturn. And then comes the third prong of the threat, which is really the public safety threat, the psychological impact of individuals losing their jobs, not knowing how they're going to pay their rent, not knowing how they're going to feed their family, and the impact it has in terms of the increase in domestic violence. I mean, we've seen a 31% increase in murders, not just here, but in a lot of places across the country. And so it's a perfect storm. And now we're looking at what's happening with the Mother Nature and the floods and the fires. It seems like the whole West Coast is on fire and a lot of America is underwater in Louisiana and beyond. And so this is having an impact on public safety. I think it requires us as a police department and our NGOs out there, our service providers with the Houston Women's Shelter and Center, the Hawk. And so the work is greater than ever, the need's greater than ever, but our commitment is greater than ever. We're going to keep doing our best.
Well, and I think one of the great things that's occurred as a result of COVID is that you have a lot of people collaborating, Chief, more than ever. Philanthropy in Houston, foundations, individuals are really coming together. And Houston is resilient. We're going to pull through this. We just need everyone to do their part. And great advice. You know, we just got off the phone with the fire chief and some of the things that they're doing. Baker Ripley, the wonderful work that they are doing to serve the community. What else should Houstonians know about the Houston Police Department?
First and foremost, is that the department is committed to doing our very best to police in a constitutionally lawful manner. It's a department that is actually a homegrown department, that most of our people are from Houston or the Houston region, even though, because of, our officers don't make that much initially, and there's a lot of young officers with young families. They may not live in the city. I think about 35% of our people live in the city, but they all have ties and roots and a deep love for this city.
Absolutely. And so on behalf of our chamber, Chief, we want to thank you for your leadership. And as you mentioned, still much to be done. All of us can use improvement. I know that the city of Houston, as mentioned before, we are resilient, we are strong, and we are a model for the rest of the country. Thank you for your leadership, and I will see you soon, my friend.
Thank you. Be safe and holler if you need me out here.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Up next, we have Dylan Knutson. Thanks for joining us, Dylan.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo. It's great to be here.
Well, BBVA has been a great big part of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. You guys have been very engaged, not only from a financial investment, but by participating and engaging with our chamber, which has grown over the years to become one of the most influential in the country, thanks to corporate partners such as BBVA. Happy to hear the good news about BBVA opening up a large number of branches in the Houston area in 2021. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's really exciting, especially given through all the challenges we're facing right now as a community and in the economy, for us to be able to come out and say that right now we're going to invest in this community and help grow our presence and really help provide opportunities for the people that we serve. And so, we're going to be opening up 15 new branches in 2021 across Texas. It's pretty deliberate. We're looking to make sure that these models match our strategic plan. One of the core values of that strategic plan is financial health. And so we're focusing 30% of these branches in areas that are considered LMI by the Fed, which is really just underserved areas from a banking perspective.
Dylan, one of the things that we wanted to visit with you on are these branches that are opening up throughout Texas, and then incorporating this idea of still using your mobile phone and integrating both. Is this new? Tell us what your thoughts were.
Yeah, we really haven't on a large scale had branch openings like this in quite a long time. Over the last decade or so, most of our growth, physical growth in brick and mortar branches has come through acquisitions. So a lot of our clients, some of those listening today, were part of another bank that is now a part of the BBVA family. And so a lot of the brick and mortars come from that. And then while that's been happening, we've been building out our mobile and online platform. You may have seen or read about BBVA having the #1 mobile app in the country. We've got one of the best online platforms in the country. And they've, over time, blurred lines and come together to deliver the bank not as an either or, but as an and. And so what you're seeing in these new branches is transformation in the way that we're delivering the bank through the brick and mortar, which is a combination of the two. So for example, when you enter into one of these new branches, instead of seeing a teller line and some desks and trying to figure out how to navigate who you need to talk to, we're going to have what is called a personal banker bar with universal bankers that sit behind it. So whether you're just coming in to deposit a check or, talk about how you're going to save money for your child's education or retirement or, mortgages, you're going to deal with one person who's highly skilled and highly trained to do that. And then the way that they're going to deliver the bank to you is working with you through your app or through your mobile device, however it is that we deliver the bank to you at home. So they're going to help you navigate through the banking app. They're going to ask you questions, make recommendations along the way. And then one other change that's really interesting is whether or not the new branches will have drive-throughs. Drive-throughs have become a major part of the banking world. And over time, you'll see that sometimes the drive-thrus just sit there empty. It was a convenience thing at one point, but the convenience has now shifted to our phones. And a lot of the people and the needs that you have to go inside of a branch are still there. You need to look someone, face to face. So a number of these new branches actually aren't going to have drive-thrus in them, which is a change. And then one thing, just to make sure I point out, in our current environment with COVID, it's been really important to us that we provide a safe environment, provide social distancing, not only for safety, but obviously peace of mind for your clients when you're in there talking to folks, but to do it in a way that's a totally open concept environment. So I'll give you a quick example. When I used to go to the restaurant with my parents as a kid, you'd walk in, you'd have a booth, and you were in a dining area and you never knew what was going on in the background. You didn't know how the sausage was made. And at some point, they tore the walls away and you could see inside the kitchen, you could see the service station, and it gave you peace of mind knowing how everything was done. It's a similar concept within these new branches. So it's really exciting. We're really looking forward to getting these open and showing everybody what BBVA is all about in the new branches.
Well, and that's very exciting. And certainly, again, BBVA has been at the forefront of technology, maximizing that. And at the same time, having that customer service with highly talented individuals. And it's great to hear that it's a one-stop shop when you go into one of the branches. And it's about meeting the needs of those clients, and your footprint continues to grow. What else are you all seeing? In terms of your needs of your clients, of businesses, of Houston, what are some of the things that are really opportunities for someone like BBVA?
Yeah, so it's interesting because the needs of our clients are changing on a daily basis. And, we've got clients that have been with us for 30, 40 years, and they still need the same product, service, and interactions with the bank that they had 20, 30 years ago. And then we've got a new generation that's coming up, and they're fast and they're on their phone, but they also still need an in-person face-to-face relationship with the banker, especially when you're talking about these major life events that happen, whether it's buying a house or buying a car, or you have a kid and you want to try and figure out how you're going to save money for your child's education or retirement. And so we're really changing the way that we deliver all of that to our clients. So let me give you an example. When you walk in to one of these new branches, instead of having the traditional teller line with some desks kind of spread out across the office and trying to figure out, okay, I'm here to talk about mortgages, who do I talk to? Or I'm here because something's going on with my checking account, who do I talk to? You're going to have a single banker bar, and behind the banker bar, you're going to have bankers that are well versed in everything that we do as an organization. So instead of maybe processing a deposit and then going over here to talk to somebody about your mortgage, you're going to walk up to a professional that's going to be able to help you with all those things. But what's really neat is they're going to do it and deliver it to you through your phone. So you're going to have essentially a concierge service that's there to help navigate you through the systems and services and products that we provide to help you meet your needs. But you're going to use your own technology with our assistance to get there.
Dylan, we appreciate your engagement with the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We love our partnership with the Houston Hispanic Chamber and hope you and all yours are doing well and are safe.
Thank you so much. And again, our thanks to our corporate partner over at BBVA. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.